Hey guys, Greenbird here. Hope everybody is doing fantastic, staying healthy, all that other stuff. I wanted to do a video today, Kenton, for you. This is some of the stone that I'm sending you, but it does need a little bit of cleaning up. The most frustrating part, or one of the most frustrating parts of flint knapping, is when you just hit these edges and they just crush and you just don't get a flake. It can be so frustrating. So you have to understand that a lot of this rock that you're seeing is not going to be your end result, your end point. You may get some other points out of it, out of the trash. That's very possible. But as far as, you know, what I think you should concentrate on your first stone is, let's just concentrate on making flakes and running those flakes off, because basically what you're doing is you're making a masterpiece here, right? You're going to take everything that shouldn't be here and remove it. Just like, you know, making a sculpture and so forth. So any of the thin spots here on the edges, those need to be ground down, because they're not, nothing's going to come out of those. If you try and hit those, you're just going to get crushed edges and so forth. So you can start, if you want, by grinding those edges. Just get them down. But you might not need to if you're going to hit a different spot on the stone. So let's take a look and see if we can find a platform. So when we're looking for platforms, Kenton, you're looking for low spots in the stone. I'm going to just knock this off because that's just too thin. But, you know, one of the flint knappers that helped me a lot, the way he described it was smacking smiles. So you look for those smiles and you smack them off. You know, ever hear that expression? Smack that smile off your face. So that's sort of what we're going to do. All these thin spots, just take your grinder, get rid of them, because they do not want to be there. And be real careful, because this obsidian, it bites. It will cut you, without a doubt. So I'm going to look through this piece of rock and see where can I take a flake off. And when you're taking the flake off, you don't necessarily just want to see where you can take it off, but where can you take it off where it's not, you know, you want to keep it, you want to keep balance within this spall. So I mean, obviously you want to make sure that you want to try and keep it as symmetrical as possible. So where can I take that flake where it's going to take stone off and not, you know, affect the integrity of the symmetry. Yeah, and you can see I'm aggressively hitting the tip of that, and that's just because that needs to come off. So right here we have a low spot. See that? Low spot, and it runs pretty close to a ridge. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to grind it really well. Take my medium-sized bopper against my leg. I'm supporting the back of this. Okay, so my hands are supporting the back of this, and I'm putting just a tiny bit of pressure on my leg. I'm going to hit down and kind of out. Mostly probably just down for this particular angle. Okay, that crushed a little bit. crush too. Okay, so not the best results. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now, sometimes you have to build your own platform. So see how there's a low spot right there? But I can't really hit that. There's not really that V-shaped angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, smack that with my bopper, try and pop off a flake so that it creates that V. So I hit that, and that's the flake that came off. And as you can see, it made a much lower spot right here for me to take that flake, drive across that ridge. Now I do need to clean that up a little bit. Grinding the edge really, really well. I'm being aggressive. I'm kind of scraping off to see anything that doesn't want to be there. Rather have it off before I hit it. And now you can see I have a really, I don't know, in my opinion, nice platform. See that low spot there? See that ridge it follows? It's going to pop off a nice flake. I just have to make sure I grind that edge enough. And that's how you skin these stones, just one flake at a time. I hit a smaller right here. Yeah, here we go. Here. Let's see what this flake produces. So I'm grinding this low spot. See that? It's a definite dip. There's a ridge that follows it. Not sure if you can see that. I can't tell from the camera. Now we're going to hit that. So I'm going to keep a little bit of pressure against my leg just to keep it secure. I'm going to take the under part of my fingers. I'm going to put that underneath the piece to give it some support under there as well. Gotta be careful, sometimes you'll get cut. I'm going to hit down. Now I can either adjust the angle. If I want to be straight like this, I can come in like this, or if I want to angle it down, I can come down. What you want to do is you just want to have that angle that goes in, creates the pressure that builds up, and then also the energy in the other direction that pops off the flake. That's really what you want to do, and it's sort of intuitive. And lost a bunch of it. But basically, that's what I just did. Okay, there's the flake. I shot in this way. This is what came off. So I just made that thinner. And that's what you're going to do the entire process. Okay? I think I'll do one more right here. Maybe I'll do one more right here on the thick spot. And then I'm just going to stop this for now. We do have a really big hinge right here that we need to deal with. And we'll blast that off from the other side. It's not a big deal. But if you're curious of what hinges and step fractures are, I do have a video on that. Feel free to check it out. So you're going to find that you need to trim this a little bit. Like in this situation, it needs a little bit of trimming. Can't work with something that doesn't have much for you to work with. Alright. Now, another thing you want to think about when you're doing this is you want to make sure that the center of this never gets thinner than your front and base, your tip and base. Your tip and base should always be thinner, rather, than the thickness of the base of the middle. So, I think I said that funny, so I'm going to say it again. Your tip and your base should always be thinner than the middle of your piece. So you want to keep that in mind also. And a little bit of shaping. All that thin stuff, nothing's going to happen with that. It's not going to do anything anyway, so just get rid of it. Okay. So now there's nothing left but thick stuff. If we want, I would say the next logical place to take a flake would be right here, because you can see how that edge gets thinner right there, and there is a thick spot there. So, I don't know, let's just take it just for the sake of having fun. Then we'll probably end this video. Didn't want this to be a long video. So the point of this is just take one flake at a time. Okay. I did get a huge, oh no, I guess I didn't. So this is the flake that I took. This is the first part that came off. This is the second part that came off. That's a point just in itself. And I did get a little bit of a step fracture over here, which is not a big deal because I can take that off from the other side. I'll show you how to do that. Actually, this is a good example. So I've got this big step here. So I'm going to grind the opposite edge. You can see I've got that low spot right there. That's going to be my platform. I'm going to hit down and in a little bit. That was not great. Not great also, but a little bit better. So I did take away that hinge, but I do still have a really thick tip here, so I need to address that. But yeah, I think we'll do that in the next video. I'm going to trim up a little bit here. So, the main thing of this video is just take one flake at a time. Just taking small flakes here to try and trim up. Alright, so this is what we're left with. And we'll come back to this tomorrow. Trim it up a little bit more. Alright? But Kenton, the one thing I want to tell you is that, you know, think of it as one flake at a time. Don't think of it as trying to, you know, achieve that point that you want, because it does take a ton of time, and you don't always get it on the first rock. But if you can learn how to take those flakes, I mean, you saw a flake that we took off earlier. This right here, I can turn that into a point without a doubt. So, anyway, we'll tackle this rock again tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed. Everybody stay safe. Make sure you are being a good neighbor, being a good friend, being a good family member, and loving everybody around you. Talk to you later.